Try and get that fixed, but in the camera work and narrating for you. And welcome to our YouTube live presentation. So this is a little bit different. We've been doing the Facebook live presentations for several months now. Foster's got a chunk of, what is that, Foster?
It's
Celadon? Celadon green on the end of the pipe. That glass has been preheated to about 900 degrees so that it'll adhere to his blowing iron easily. And now he's going to melt that. So he uses a saw, as he brought it over and showed us. It's got some rather sharp edges on it. When he comes out of that reheating oven that he's in right now, which we call a glory hole, he'll show it to us, and it'll have really soft edges where it's melted in. So that's our process today. And so we've started doing this YouTube presentation for you. We've been doing live presentations on Facebook for a while, posting the videos here, but we thought it might be fun to start showing a little bit of live glass blowing while we're here in the morning. So maybe consider this an appetizer to the other event, right before the main meal where we just do more pieces. But this will be a Longstem goblet. So when Foster's about ready to come out here, and you can see that that glass has melted down quite a bit. He's going to shape it on the metal table, the Marver, right now. And then after he shapes it and cools it a little bit by rolling on the tabletop, he'll blow into it, cap the pipe with his finger, and the compressed air comes out into the gather of glass. There you go. Makes kind of a little rounded thumb shape. He'll give it another pass on the Marver just to reshape a little bit. Also helps to cool it. And there's a sample of what he's making. Okay, so after he gets this bubble all set up, he'll be gathering some more glass right now down to our furnace, which holds about 400 pounds of molten glass. And that'll let us probably go about 5 days or so before we have to start refilling it. Sometimes we reload it twice a week. We melt our own glass here. We melt clear glass. And the reason for that is if we melted color, we'd be stuck making whatever that color is for a week. Foster's coming on back now with the glass on the blowpipe. You can see from the glow how hot it is. It's going to take the wooden block, we call this tool. It's kind of like a cup on a handle, and it's made of cherry wood, a fruit wood with a tight grain. Is really good for holding the water. It creates a bed of steam for the glass to roll on and gives it a shape. He blows again. The trapped compressed air is now going to expand out into the glass. Notice now that it looks, well, it's always going to look orange or yellow because of the heat, but you can see that that interior core, the color bit itself, is expanded to fill almost the whole bubble. Foster needs to let this cool just a little bit. If he were to go right away to gather, the glass, the heated glass that he put on would make it collapse. The heat would penetrate and this bubble would likely disappear. So now he's going to take another gather. He'll be bringing back the fresh hot glass, and you'll be able to see the differentiation between the area where the color is and where the clear is. It'll look like it's encased, and in fact it is. Right now he's stripping the glass off back into the furnace. At these temperatures the glass flows easily, and as he makes his way down here you can see from the side that the outer area looks kind of a brighter yellow and there's a darker core. That's where the Celadon is. So now that we're here on the YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you with us, and give us any comments you have. We're curious to see what people have to say. Right now he's using the jacks, a pair of metal blades just hinged together to create a constriction line at the end of the pipe. That's where the piece will come off, because nobody wants a drinking glass with a 4-foot piece of steel on the end. A quick reheat now, and he'll come back out for a little more expansion by blowing into it and also making sure that the neck. Okay.
Alright. We're kind of back.
Kind of back?
There we
Okay,
go.
well, we'll see if it keeps disconnecting. Somebody gave us a thumbs up, but it doesn't look like we've got anybody on there right now. But we'll get this worked out. Okay, so now Foster has got the stem pulled out. He'll work on that just a little bit more. And here we are again, disconnecting and reconnecting. All right, once he gets the stem hot and can get it to the length that he desires, double check it with the calipers, and then we'll be on to the foot. The caliper measurement ensures that the glass is the same size as its mate. And he's using a pair of paper pegs on the end of those jacks instead of metal or carbide or wood. And that steals very little heat, keeps the glass nice and warm. Josh is headed over for a flash while Foster goes and gathers for the foot. So if he were to use metal blades for that last step that he did, Foster would be stealing a lot of heat and risking a crack in the stem. And there are a variety of tools possible to use. He just happens to be old school and using the paper pegs. So he comes back with the glass for the foot. Josh will walk over here in front of us, and it'll be kind of the same drill as they did for the stem. Foster makes a line just to separate the glass from the pipe a little bit. Josh holds the piece vertical, and now Foster brings it up, lays it on top, and we'll cut it off. After he cuts it off, Josh keeps an eye on it. If it's a little off center, he can help turn it and get it centered up. But Foster takes care of the main part of that detail right now by patting it on the center and then using the two wooden blades there, if you will, to squeeze the glass. One is flat and a little bit wider than the other. That's the base at the back. The front end of it has notches in it. And that's what allows it to surround the stem and make that beautiful foot profile. So Foster's got the foot shaped pretty well. He's got it thinned out by squeezing it with the footboard. And now he's going to come back and use a special tool to shape the foot. He'll start off by flattening it with the one side of this tool, but he'll turn his hand underneath and watch the shape as he does the rest of the stem. That carbide is tapered, and that allows him to set a really beautiful profile on the piece. Once again for a little bit of flattening, and then he'll hand it off to Josh for the final flash and a transfer. So now we get to the part that's the one where sometimes we hold our breath. It's the transfer. Actually, these guys have been doing this long enough that it's not a big deal. But we're going to actually break the goblet off of the blowpipe and onto the punty. The punty's just, think of it like a glue bit that's on the end of an iron. You can see Foster's got a very small amount of glass, and he's going to shape it on the marver so that most of the glass is up on the pipe. He'll attach the punty to the bottom, right there in the center of the foot. And once he makes that contact, he'll turn the iron, press on it if need be in order to center it. Then he'll scratch the surface with his diamond file there, and off it comes, a little vibration. So the glass at the top of the cup was cold enough to fracture. It's going to take a little while to reheat it enough just to make sure that it is malleable again. So it's going to take a couple moments to do, but then when he finishes that up, gets this heat done, he'll start the opening. Every once in a while, he'll push the whole piece into the glory hole. If he lets that stem and foot get too cold, it will crack. So it's kind of like a Goldilocks thing. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. And there's no thermometer on that. It's experience and observation that lets you know when you're getting a little too cold or a little too hot. The hot's really easy to see because the piece starts bending and flopping around all over the place. Cold can kind of sneak up on you sometimes. So every once in a while Foster flashes, which is just a momentary exposure to the heat. And that'll keep the foot and stem warm while he gets the top nice and hot. When he does come back to the bench, you'll see the lip of the cup is an orange color, and that's an indicator of where the heat is. And there you go. So you can see really well where the heat's concentrated, using the back of the jacks to straighten the lip out a little bit. And now he'll begin to open it. There we go. Okay. This is a steam cone he's using in there right now. The steam cone is another piece of cherry wood, solid, shaped like a cone, and it's kept in water. So when we put the wet steam cone into the hot glass, the steam expands and blows the piece out some. A quick check with the calipers to give him a diameter, and he's off to the glory hole again. All right, so again, he went right back in and flashed the piece for a good little bit. Normally when you return from the bench to the glory hole, a good flash is the first thing you want to do with the piece. It's usually the last thing you do before you return to the bench. So sometimes it's not absolutely necessary on a return, but dollars to donut holes, he'll do it. See, he took a flash and he's coming back to the bench now. All righty. We've got that yellow glow up at the top. Once again, watch a little bit of expansion. You can actually see the diameter increase, and it pushes out toward that steam cone as the steam inflates the glass. Jack blades behind the lip a little bit, pulls it out some, and then he'll go for another reheat. And again, just take a look. He'll give that whole thing a flash before he starts heating the lip. So again, this is our first YouTube presentation. We've been posting our Facebook presentations on our YouTube channel, but we thought, what the heck, why not show some live too, since we're here anyway. So we're going to start showing these at 10:30, kind of like a little appetizer before the main show, if you will, and then we'll get into putting out more pieces on the other format. All right, here we go again. And you can see the orange glow where the heat's concentrated. The color will be uniform when he gets done. He's getting the shape like he wants. He'll do a couple size checks, a few final touch-ups, and then it'll be done. Alrighty. Here we go with a check with the calipers. He's got his diameter set. He'll come along with the other calipers and check the height of the vessel from the lip to the foot. And if he needs to, since this is the first of the pair, he expands a little bit for future reference. Okie doke. Yeah, hey, if you all got any comments, let us know. And please subscribe to our channel. So now we've got the piece finished. Foster's going to tap around the joint between the punny and the foot with a butter knife. Whole purpose of that is to chill it. He's not trying to knock it off. When he cools it with that butter knife, it makes a place for it to fracture. And there we go, the finished product, a gloved hand, because that is still well over 1,000 degrees, which would definitely burn him. And into the annealer it goes. All the way at the back of the shop. He's got that cup put away, and later on he'll make a bake for it. So we'd like to thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel, and thank you, Foster. Beautiful long stem goblet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.